Pliny, Book 9, Letter 20. Pliny to Venator. Salaway. Starting with a but, so I'll take that as this truly. So, truly, your epistle, your letter, to me, is so much more eucundia, so much more pleasing or pleasant. Quanto and tanto correlatives, being that it is longer, erat, and praesertum, especially when concerning my books, the whole thing speaks about it. Quas, relative, this would be the books, which, to you, I'm not amazed, I'm not surprised, this is a pleasure to you. Got that essay there, so that's probably double dative. Not surprised this is a pleasure for you, when everything of mine, he's calling himself Nostra here, emphatically, is just as with me, or as with me, aim as you love. So I'm not surprised that these books are a pleasure to you, when or since you love everything that's mine just as you love me, or something like that. Ipsi, myself, when indeed, maxime is another word for like praesertum, especially, so I'm especially doing something to his Grace Isles Vindemirs. Grace Isle usually means thin, so he's got a thin wine harvest or grape harvest, but nevertheless, they're more ubious, they're more abundant or better than I was expecting, and is his verb colligo. So he's been collecting some thin grapes, nevertheless they are better than he was expected. If to collect them is nonquem, which means sometimes, he's decorporating or picking grape. So can you call it collecting it when only sometimes you can pick a grape? And in visere, the torculum shows you twisting, so it's the wine press twists the grapes and gets juices out. To gustare de lacu, that's to taste it from the vat. Probably the same word for lake, but it's a vat. Here's what he's tasting. He's tasting the mustum. This is when you ferment the grapes to make wine. Ob repare, he's creeping up on, or he's actually the urbanus. So he's got the refinements from the city. Looks like, since there's a qui, it's a who. So looks like he's city slaves who are praesunt. They're in charge of the rusticus now. So he's got people on his farm. These would be the rustic people, and he's got his own people who are looking over the peasants or whatever. And they've left me to my notaries or secretaries and to lectoribus. That means reading, or people reading or something. Vale, goodbye. 21. Pliny to his Sabinus Salve. Your Libertus, your freedman, to who you say, Suscinere te, you're burning at him, you're angry at him. He venated to me, he came to me, and he ad volutus, he flew to my feet, pedibus meus, just as if he was sticking to you. Okay, here's the word, obrepo, this is what we saw here. To sneak, drop in, or pay a surprise visit usually means to creep, but he made a surprise visit to the farm in that previous letter. Anyway, back to this new letter. He flebbered much, he cried much, he rogavided much, he asked much, and very much. He was even quiet on some subjects, and in summary, fecunded to me, fidem vere penitente. So he seemed like he was reliably of a true penance or regret. Credo. I believe he is a mendatum, he's changed his way, because he senses himself to have done wrong, deliquicid. You're angry, Scio, I know this. It's good that they use commas. And your anger is merited or deserved. This also, Scio, I know. But then, Praecipio minus suidus laws with ire causa justissimilis. So cause most just with praise, with a mensuetudinine sort of praise, with a coming sort of praise, and another sort of especially going on. So we take this as when you use a bit of a calming praise, it's a very good way of dealing with your anger or something like that. Or mercy wins praise, as the Loeb puts it. 3. Amasti hominem. You loved in the past the man, and Spiro, getting in the comma, and I hope you will love. It's a good way to separate the verbs. Meanwhile, it'll be sufficient that you allow yourself to exorate, to be prevailed upon. That's a passive. This is a bit. It's possible for you to be angered. Another passive. If he deserves it, if he merits it. Because if you've been exoratus, which is this many, if you have been placated or calmed down, you'll make it more excusious. You'll make it more a better excuse for yourself to be angry again, basically. So Pliny's just asking him to be a bit lenient, and if again he deserves your anger, then you can make it. Remit, an imperative. It's a bit like omit or loosen or relax, or it's probably a dozen different things it can mean in Lewis and Short, but remit something of because of his adolescence, because of his youth, you might want to say. Be a bit forgiving because of his tears, and because of your own indulgence. Pliny's saying because of the guy's own ability to be calm and forgiving, I suppose. Ne torresis illum. Don't torture or torment him. Don't even torment yourself. For torqueris cum tam lanus irascus. For when you're so lenient or mild, when you're angered, looks like you're tormenting yourself. We've got a lot of these second person verbs. Viri or ne, verb of fearing with ne, they're inverted. So I fear that I shall say him, not to be asking, but forcing this. If I join mine with his prayers or pleads, nevertheless I shall join. So much more plenteous. It means fuller and effusive and spread out, or if you put them together, plenteous and effusive, he's just saying very fully and thoroughly or something. Quanto ipsum quipri, as we see in quipri, it means to correct them. Literally means to grab, but it does become correcting after a while. So much more as I've chewed him out or corrected him or yelled at him, acrius, fiercely and severely or something you might want to say. And the stricte and strictly minatus, I've given a threat that never me again afterwards would I be asking on his behalf, I'm guessing. This illy to him, whom ought to be terrified or in a bit of fear, but for you not the same. Okay, so he's not going to ask again for him, he should be scared, but to you he probably will ask other things. But perhaps again I will ask something, and again in Petribo I will obtain what I ask for. Is sit modo tale, this of some sort, so that regere me ut praestare te deciat. Okay, there's the main verb. So it's fitting that I should ask, in that you should bestow upon me some other sort of thing that I ask. So he's only going to ask once for this slave, but in future he will ask other things, but it'll be more personal. Wale, goodbye, and we'll do one more letter. Letter 22, Pliny to his Severus Salome. This could be Herennius Severus. Greatly solicitude. I'm very anxious. The valitudo, the health or sickness that is of Pasinius Pauli. So something's affecting him with his solitude, and the reason is the health of his friend, it looks like. And indeed, there are very many just reasons or causes for his solicitudinine, because he is a vir optimist, he's a good man and very honestimist, and he's very beloved of us or me. Praeterea. Besides, in letters, or in the way of letters, he emulates the veterans, the old-timers. He experiments, so he produces works like them, and he redits them, he brings them back to life, he returns their type of things. Propertius in the first place, or especially, from who he leads his genus, he's in his lineage of him. Truthfully, he's a subole, he's an offspring of him, and he's very similar to him, especially praecipius, another word for especially in that regard. 2. If his elegies, Eusempterus in Menos, plural. If you take them up his elegies in your hands, you'll read a work. Terse, soft, pleasant, and Pliny, and clearly scriptum written in the home of Propertius, or in his lineage, in his style. Nupa. Recently he has deflexed to lyrics, it's a type of poetry, in which ita ut, thus he is doing it as in the way of Horace, and he's fingered and he's producing it as if he was another Horace in these works. You would think that he's another him. You think it's another Horace. So first of all, he's Propertius he's close to because he's in his lineage, but he's also can imitate Horace. You would think that if something cognatio prevails in studies or in letters, so cognatio is a relation or blood relation. So if you think that this prevails, et who is pro quicquam, so you would think that it's close to Horace also in his lineage. Magna varieties, great varieties. Magna mobilitas, sometimes it means fickleness, but it means his ability to move the mood. He loves as he who loves verissime, truly. He grieves as one who does impaentissimally, very passionately or something. He praises as he who does very kindly, another superlative. And he plays as one who is very, what do we call that in English? It's like wit, facetious or something. Is a very facetious person. And finally, in short, he absolves or he finishes off omnia, everything, just as he does with the single subjects. He can do just as much as he does with everything. Pro hoc amico. So we have I here, so this would be Pliny. He's doing it pro a friend. So and as for his ingenuum or his character or his genius, not less sick in mind than in body he. So Pliny's feeling just as sick in the body and mind as his friend. That's what pro means, in place of. And at last him, and at last me, to have recovered. So he was just as worried for his friend as himself. And now it looks like they're recovered. Imperative to me. So congratulate me, congratulate even letters or literature themselves, which from this danger, periculum, such a crisis adherent was there, so there was such a danger, but now he's pulled through this danger, and as much glory will follow from this salute, from this recovering from this new health. So literature itself is going to be benefit because he's out of the danger, and so literature is out of the danger as well. And finishes it up with a while, goodbye.